This is due to requests on my comment section. People have requested me to do a full drawing from start to finish. So let's do that. And then I will get into doing an acrylic painting of that drawing. But first we must start with the drawing, and I will line it all out, and it will be on tracing paper. And I mean, you could do your drawing. Quite often I do my drawing on regular sketch pads, large sketch pads. And then I trace it, and then I have a master. Right, so I've got a nice big pad here. This is a really old pad that I have. It is size 14 by 17. And I want a good size face on here because the canvas that I have here is large. So we start with an oval, and you can just freehand an oval. You don't have to fuss with it a whole lot. I think this is a bit small. We want it bigger. Let's go big. Now I'm not going to put the hair and stuff like that on here because when I do the painting, I will do it then. So this is just the face. So I'm going to erase some of these inner lines. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a beautiful painting. I mean a beautiful drawing, because you can correct all that in the painting process. All right, I'm going to be right back. What I mean about fixing in the creative process, this painting is actually how I started with my drawing and painting, and that particular one ended up looking like this. So you can see it right here. And she was just beautiful. She turned out great. But at one point she looked like that. So anything is fixable, and it's all during the process that you do the tweaking. Okay, so let's get going here. So your halfway mark, so halfway down the oval, do a line straight across. Well, that's not quite halfway, that's a little further there. See the amount of erasing we have to do? So just took that line off. And then you want another line straight down the middle. I mean, you can use a ruler for this if you want. There we go. Okay, so you've got your base face. Now the way the face works is the eyes are on this line here. Okay, I'm going to do this pretty dark, because when I draw it on watercolor, I don't do it dark. So that's the beauty of doing it on tracing paper, because then you can see your lines. Okay, so now I can take from here to the chin, get my line straight, halfway again. So another line straight across, okay? And then halfway between here and the chin, so this bottom line, this is when the nose goes right here, another line, because that's where the mouth goes, okay? So your face is in thirds, all right? So you've got your forehead to here, then your eyes, your nose, your mouth. So this is definitely halfway. See that, top of my head? I should do a self-portrait. That would be good. Good for a laugh. Okay, now let's deal with the eyes. So your eyes are one eye width apart. Now it depends on if you want to do realism. Me, I don't do realism because I just don't want to. I used to be a photographer, and you can photograph realism. And you know, these days they photograph people and then turn them into paintings using these programs on your iPhone. So I don't want to paint like that. Anyway, okay, so this is about the same width there, and then we're going to do that same width there. There we go. So put your little dots. And okay, so then we just do a round. So sort of an oval. We just draw an oval. I don't know if those are the same size. Let's see, I don't have a measurer here. You'll have to bear with me here because I'm at my store, my gallery. I don't have all the tools that I have at my home. All right, so here we've got, this eye is 2 inches, and then we've got just over 2 inches beside it. So let's make it a little bit bigger. I'll go a little bit, so just over 2 inches. And then we got 2 inches. And this one's just over 2 inches, so it's about the right size. Now, as I was saying, if you don't care about doing realistic, it's kind of fun because sometimes you can do the eyes bigger, and I've had a lot of fun with that. Okay. And all right, so the other thing you can do too is I have gotten templates, circular templates at home. I don't have them here, but so you want to do a round here, okay, and it's okay to kind of futz with it, make extra marks. Now you can have your girl looking straight ahead or not. It's up to you. There, this one here, see, she's looking straight ahead. Here's another one looking straight ahead. Now see, this one here, I ended up thinning. You thin down the face a little bit more, and all the magic happens. This magic happens in the painting process, and we're going to use acrylics. Okay, so I'm not going to do this under here yet. I'm going to just and like I say, the magic is in the eraser. That's when it really comes together. So you do your iris. Okay, now the nose, I do a circle here. And that just makes it easier for me to go like a little loop. And then you've got your lip dip. That's this right here. This little part right there. So you do a little Y. Okay, so you do your lip dip. And then your lips will start about here. And you can go on Pinterest. There's some great sketching on Pinterest that show you cheap ways of doing your mouth. I have a real hard time with mouths. It's like, they drive me nuts. So I do it this way. So you can see how I do it, and then do it whatever way that you like to do it. All right, so this here, and then you just do like a little round like that. Sometimes I get it a little too wide, but usually the end of your nose is in line with the end of your eye. Ooh. So we're off. So we want to get this nose over here. Okay. And then clean up our mess. Comes up real easy with the gum eraser. Okay. All right. So now, like I say, the mouths they drive me nuts. Okay, so you can they have different techniques, and I don't have any of them here. But sometimes you can just draw a heart. This is just one way of doing this. And then they do another loopy thing here. And then right there and there. Okay, so then you've got this. It gives you kind of an outline to work with. Now I can see already that her face is fatter on this side, so this side will end up coming in. let's do that while I'm looking here. And this side can come in a little bit. Now, a younger face will be more round. An older face will be more symmetrical. Like you see, look at yourself in the mirror and you'll see your face thins right here. So keep that in mind. And you can just kind of shape her down. Now, if you're doing a model, they've got like super high cheekbones, so that's a whole different deal. We won't go there yet. All right, so she's pretty basic. Okay, I'm going to do on that line that's in there. We're going to just go out like this under the heart, and I'm doing this really dark so you can see it. All right. How are we doing on time? Okay, 23 minutes so far. All right, and your neck is up to you. You can do a skinny neck, you can do a fat neck. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to do. So I'm going to just take some of these lines out. And then I have to reset the camera. Okay, well, that doesn't look too bad. Starters. So it gives you a baseline to work with, and then you go in and you take all your marks off. Once I started doing drawings, I found myself looking at people on TV and looking at the shape of their mouths and the shape of their eyes. And if you start drawing faces, you'll catch yourself doing that. And it's kind of fun. All right. Well, not bad. That's it. That's it, guys. That's the basics. All right. So now you've got that your tear duct right here. Let's do a tear duct right there. So it's just a little dent in. This is where the tiny eraser comes in handy. So you're going to do this part here. And I'm going to switch pens here. What's this one? This one's at 0.05. Okay. So start drawing this. Leave a little space under the eye. So this is a little bit white right here. Underneath. You just want an outline of this space so you can transfer it onto your canvas. And your canvas can be watercolor or regular canvas. So it's nice to have these faces already drawn, and you can use it multiple times, which is awesome. I love that. All right, let's go in and clean up these lines. We don't need these here. Okay, so that's what this little eraser is wonderful for. I have many of these. They're all over my house because you never know when I'm gonna get the urge to draw. All right. So, there we go. So you can see her there. Let's take some of these other lines off. So our background lines, we don't need them anymore. There we go. Boy, does that look like a face or what? And you know, my story, I have to tell you my story. Back in the 90s, I took a course from one of my favorite teachers, and she was teaching portraits. She also did flowers, and I wanted her flower course, but she wasn't teaching that. She was teaching faces. And I was absolutely awful. I had absolutely no confidence, and it wasn't till 2020 that I took a workshop online, and it helped me immensely. And ever since then, Oh, my thing is shaking like crazy. Ever since then, I have been doing portraits. My table was shaking. This is a pretty wonky table, and I need to get it straightened out. Okay, I'm looking in the camera here, and I see what's going on. We need to thin this down a little bit. We want her more model looking. So go in the middle. There's your pointy part. Now, here's where the eyelids go. But you don't need to fuss with this. If you're just doing the sketch part, this all gets fine-tuned. You see there. And then you can go in and erase. Yeah, you can fine-tune all this when you start doing the painting. All right, I'm going to round out this eye a little bit here and a little bit here. We'll take that line off. Wow. Okay, so we have done this in 18 minutes so far, which is amazing. Okay. Now, there's different ways of doing your eyebrow, but you want to just get the shape in. Take a look in the mirror, or if you've got a good magazine with some good pictures on it. Okay, battery died. They don't last very long in these cameras. So we have the face so far, and you can thin it down if you want. Now at this stage, you know, if you want, you can put some hair on it if it makes you feel better about that. But it's not really necessary. Let's get this lined up a little better. And, you know, let's see, hair. And quite often I like to do like straight bangs. Your bangs come from way back here. They're kind of fun. Now I have some, I got these off of, where did I get them? I think I got them on Pinterest. But you see how it's an oval, there's the lips, nose. That's basically what we just did. This is one that I did. Yeah, so, you know, it gives you some ideas. And look, it's not realism. We don't want realism. That's kind of boring. And so what we're going to do in the next step is build up our background on the canvas, and then we will transfer her onto the canvas and then start painting. So I like to thin her down a little bit. But you know, you can do a lot of this tweaking once you get her on the canvas. So I'm just getting fussy right now. So there's your basic shape. I hope you've enjoyed this part 1, and let's get on to the next part 2.